you battled Buckner a lot of the night. Some other receivers, you got a couple PIs. They got some yards on you. But you had the last laugh. You also made some stops against these guys.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel at the end of the game to have a touchdown?
I mean, that just kind of like just gave me just that confidence for the games coming up next game because like I feel like once you make one big play, then I feel like I'm able to make a lot of plays. I just thought that's how it was throughout the game.
You obviously saw what Matt Scott was doing a lot of the night, and was that something you noticed in film to be able to get good reads on his passes, or was it during the game you noticed?
I mean, I was during when we were watching film, I noticed a lot that they like to throw a lot to the boundary to their isolated receivers. So I was just making sure that I was changing up my coverage every time, so to throw off the quarterback so he couldn't just key on to what I'm doing every play.
Is that one of the best games you've ever had?
I mean, so far, but that's just one of the first games.
This defense, the coaching staff talks a lot about how this defense is often really underrated, not talked about. You know, the focus is always being on the offense. Shutting out a team that averages nearly 50 points a game, you think this is going to give you the national recognition you maybe deserve?
Hopefully, but I always thought from the beginning our defense is something special through fall camp, spring ball, and we just showed it today.
Ifo, you guys are going to face a lot of good quarterbacks in the league. As always, this league has good quarterbacks. Did you guys feel like you really took a step forward today as a pass defense?
I think so. I just felt that we were able to not. I felt like we were able to control the game, make sure that they would throw the check down every play, and we just all around played good team pass defense.
Were you surprised they kept coming to you?
I
Kept
mean,
going to your side.
this is my first year starting, so I was ready for them to throw it my way every time, and I just wanted to show them what I could do.
And you know, a couple penalties. Can you talk about kind of shaking that off? How you're able to shake that off and still make some plays later in the game?
I mean, Coach Neal always tells us just brush off those plays and just think about the next play because the next play could be coming your way.
Can you just talk about how much more comfortable and how much more confidence you have every time you go out there and just with the experience you gain?
I mean, from last year to this year, I can say that I'm just able to do a lot more things because I'm able to read the offense a lot quicker than last year, and I'm able to do a lot more pre-snap than I was before.
We'll go back here first and then Jason.
You had a pretty solid game, man-on-man coverage. Would you say that you prefer being man-to-man rather than in zone, or do you have a preference at all?
I mean, I always feel like I could play man against anybody, but man or zone, I think I can do a great job on both of those.
Looks like you guys are pretty physical on the back end too. Or you guys want to have that as sort of your calling guard to be a physical secondary?
Oh, of course, our whole defense is physical, and we want to make sure that everyone knows that that the secondary is not the weak link, or the secondary is not going to play soft on them.
Ifo, your defense faced a lot of situations where you guys were put in a short field situation defensively. How much pride do you guys take in not just putting up a shutout like that, but doing it with, I believe Arizona was in the red zone 6 different times and didn't come out with any points?
I mean, that's where you have to, when we get to the red zone, that's where we turn it up a notch. We make sure that everyone's communicating, everyone's staying focused, because when they're in the red zone, it's anybody's game, and that's when they like to run a lot of their pass plays, especially like their deeper routes.
Was that a momentum thing too? It's like when you got the first stop, it was almost just like you guys knew it was going to be one after the other?
I think so. I could say that was momentum, just for the fact that that from getting that first stop, that we got that in the beginning of the game, it helped our offense, and that they were able to move the ball and get that first touchdown.
Ifo, did you guys talk about the speed of the game and how it was going to change now that you were kind of playing athletes that were on the same level, or at least a similar level to you guys?
I mean, I see every team as a faceless opponent. I prepare every week to play against the best, so I'm ready to play against anybody every day. So I don't even really look at it that way.
Having lost John Boya, there was a lot of talk about whether the secondary would be able to step it up. Obviously, a really, really solid performance. What do you think has changed with the group dynamic?
I mean, John's one of those dynamic players that of course you're gonna miss, but John, we're able to talk to him every day. He's helping us even though he can't be on the field, and it's just helping our defense. Everybody's growing a lot quicker than what we were before. Avery Patterson, he's becoming a leader on and off the field. Terrence Mitchell, and Brian Jackson.
You got a big matchup with Marquise Wilson coming up next week. Any thoughts on that matchup? Are you facing a guy like him at this caliber?
Oh, we gotta just get into the film room and start preparing for my opponent, just to make sure that I'm at the top of my game.
And as far as coming into this game goes, I mean, did you feel any different preparation-wise? You know, were things starting to? I mean, had a whole full season last season, but did you have? I don't know, do you have a feeling that things were kind of clicking and falling into place for you?
I just felt that I was able to do a lot more this year than I did last year, especially like playing tighter on routes, even in zone coverage, than I did last year.
Ifo, a couple things. Some of us came into the room late. Would you talk about the your two interceptions and the one that you scored? And also, did it seem like maybe you broke their spirit a little bit? What were they saying out on the field when you held them scoreless on, you know, when they came in the red zone? It seemed like maybe Matt Scott was a bit, or their spirit was broken.
It seemed like they were a little rattled just because they were trying to switch up their schemes a lot more than like what we prepared for. So every time we would make a stop, they would change their offense completely, and I think that might have changed the game.
We should talk about your interceptions too.
I mean, the first interception, I was just playing man coverage, and I just sat on the route, and I was able to make a play. And then the second one, we were playing a deep coverage, and the quarterback rolled out, and what our coach always teaches us to play the sideline. So right when he broke, I was ready to come down and make that interception.
Last question.
Ifo, what does it mean to you guys to shut out a top 10 offense in the nation?
I mean, that just gives our defense a lot more confidence, showing that our defense is a strength in our team, and our defense can play against anybody